Okay, so now we're up to season 5, and this is where the series takes an interesting turn for the better. I will say that this is probably one of my favorite seasons in the entire series. Just so many great episodes, and what I love most about these episodes is the evolution of these characters. If you look at the episode Scott Trennerman Must Die, which is the most brutal, most insane episode you'll ever see of this show. It starts off kind of innocent, but the ending is just insane. This marks the moment in the series where Cartman was no longer just a jerk. At this point, he's a psychopath. He's basically a murderer. If you haven't seen the ending, it's one of the most disturbing things you'll ever watch on television. So definitely one of my favorite episodes. Super Best Friends was hilarious. It's probably one of the most controversial episodes, I want to say, due to the whole Muhammad controversy, which is kind of ridiculous. Cripple Fight was funny. Cartman Land was hilarious. Just shows off that character Cartman. Really anything with that character is just gold. Cartman can do no wrong. Uh, Another great one, Proper Condom Use, all about sex education. The beginning is really funny. The entire episode is funny, but it gets disturbing at points, like any South Park episode. Towley was kind of stupid, but I enjoyed it. That character was really fun. Osama bin Laden as Farty Pants. Now I love this episode because it shows that this series has guts. Okay, this is right around 9/11. People were still very sensitive to that, and instead of holding off, they just jump right into a 9/11 episode, ripping on Osama bin Laden, which was really funny. Another great one is Here Comes the Neighborhood. The ending to this one is just it's kind of offensive to some people, but it was funny nonetheless. Now, near the end of the series, I mean this season, it they make some really risky moves, especially with this character Kenny. And if you don't know what happens, essentially Kenny dies in the episode Kenny Dies. And I know Kenny dies in basically every episode, but this is when they actually tried to kill him off. If you don't know the story, essentially Matt and Trey were tired of the character. And I can see why, because Kenny really is just a prop. He's not even really a character. He's just used for cheap gags, and the joke was getting old at this point of them just killing him off every single episode. So they decided, let's kill off Kenny and replace him with another character. And that's what the season finale is. Butters' very own episode. This is really the first time we got to look at the character Butters, who has become one of the most beloved characters of the series. The episode is really funny. It goes into this whole thing where Butters' dad is murdering his mom. It's really funny. It's basically just our introduction as an audience to the character of Butters. Now, the episode Kenny Dies, although funny at moments, definitely shows off that the writers can do more than just comedy. This is such a downer of an episode. Essentially, Kenny gets some sort of disease, and it shows the boys, they kind of bond through this experience, and they're losing their best friend, and it's really sad. That moment where Cartman and Kyle are crying together in the hospital is just so sad to watch, and overall, it's just an amazing episode. Really loved the whole thing with Stan, where he's kind of feeling regret because he didn't go visit Kenny as much as he wanted. Just an amazing episode. Emotionally, they didn't really get this emotional again until season 15 with an episode called You're Getting Old. Now, we all know that that didn't last very long. That the whole thing with them replacing Kenny with Butters, it only lasted one season. But I think I'm glad they did it because, first off, we got the character Butters out of it, and it also caused for a lot of development with some of the other characters. So they started experimenting, and they played around with a lot of those concepts in season 6, which is going to be my next South Park review. So that's all I really got to say about season 5. Definitely one of my favorites. Any South Park fan should watch this season front to back. Just amazing.